Okay, in this video, I want to talk about the idea of biennales. There's a lot more information I've got to learn and research on this whole concept of biennales. And, I did quite a bit of homework on the Biennale of Chianciano, and the truth was, when I compared it to a lot of other biennales that are much more established and been around for years, they really did put on a first-class act. Might not have met everybody's expectations, but compared to some of the other things, one of the things I did do is I spent time interviewing the artists that had been in other biennales to find out what was the difference. Carl had been in the Biennale of Florence, Firenze. It's a non-juried show. Anybody can submit, and until they hit the first 600 artists, let's say only 550 artists apply, and somebody decides to make artwork that's dirty panties glued to a painting or wall, a canvas, and nobody else, they didn't hit their 600, if you're willing to pay the fees and get in the show, they'll take it. And my understanding is that the Florence one was far more expensive than this Biennale. It was not juried. And what he communicated to me kind of sounded like it was I don't want to say a pig pen, but it sounded like they had these, areas that were almost like pens, put all the artists in these areas, and they had another, corral of artists. But you didn't have a lot of control over who was to your right and who was to your left and what it looked like. He said that he clearly was chosen for winning awards as in comparison to other artists. And so he was happy for having been distinguished. But he said he was so embarrassed and kind of ashamed of who he was next to in the show, that it totally cheapened and discounted. These doors keep opening and closing. He was ashamed of who was to his right and to his left, that we're going through a tunnel, and here comes the door, click, that he wouldn't do it again. More expensive. They wanted to charge for video interviews. The quality of the people around him was poor. And other than bringing yourself there and presenting yourself and people coming through, there wasn't a whole lot more with that Biennale. Okay, now the Biennale of Venezia obviously is the oldest, probably, biennial that there is. It's probably the largest. It's got each country with their pavilions. But the problem there is it's very, very expensive. And if you're not somebody in your country or know somebody, you're not going to get selected to get into it. And there seems to be a lot of shock and awe going on with the presentations of what they're doing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Biennale, probably one of the most prestigious. But I'd say the masses really can't get into it. So, like when I heard one of the artists complaining, the reality is, why are you even trying to make a comparison to something that you don't even have a chance of getting into? I'm kind of confused. Where is the connection? If you're not in the royal family and you don't have royal bloodlines and you're not personal friends with the royal family, I really don't think you're going to be invited to the royal wedding. So that's a consideration. The Florence one, anybody can get in. Now, what I want to do at this point, as I'm recuperating in bed for the next couple of weeks, is I want to start researching the other biennales. I've got a list of the top 10 And I want to start seeing what are the bells and whistles, how do you get into it, what are the fees, who's got cash prizes, who doesn't have cash prizes, and to see if there's not a way to isolate out some of the real strong, qualifications or assets that each biennial has. But again, there's a level of responsibilities that artists have to accept. Nobody's going to make you famous, and you're not going to get famous overnight. You got to work. You got to work smart. So, another thing is, I guess there's going to be Turkey's thinking about setting up a Biennale in the future, and it was presented to me that they'd like me to be involved in the judging or something like that. That's a positive thing, you know. That's a really a good thing to get involved with that. So we'll do more work on the Biennales because I need to. But I thought they did a really good job. I really do. And I've heard that other Biennales are much more expensive. I'm not sure selling is what it's all about. You know, if you're not selling your art in other places, I don't know why you think showing up in one other location of Biennale is going to sell it. You know, either people are finding your work desirable enough to buy or not, you know. So the purposes of Biennales are not all about selling. A lot of it's about prestige. Okay, that's just something for thought. Bye.